Gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Rogers, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank all of you for being here. The DOD in this current year budget had projected fuel cost per barrel of oil to be $131, and DLA has recently pegged it now at $166 a barrel, and it's projecting that level will be sustained throughout the balance of this fiscal year. How are y'all going to deal with that? General Breed, let's start with you, and let's go down the other.
Sir, thank you for the opportunity to talk to it. We do have an aggressive program in our fuel savings, and they're looking at numerous opportunities, both existing technologies and new technologies to get after it. A good example is recoring of our C-130 engines. If we can get to a new core of those aircraft on those aircraft engines, running cooler and running more efficiently, the fuel savings is quite important. Simple things that we're doing across our aircraft fleet, like winglets on our larger aircraft, and changing as we buy new aircraft some of the exterior hull designs, cuts down on a little bit of fuel. You would think that that is not significant, but we understand, as you do as well, sir, that the Air Force is the #1 user of fuel in the United States. And so every little bit that we can cut saves money to roll back into things that are really needed in our force. So we are attacking this because it is the most important thing to get at for Air Force savings in energy.
Congressman, thanks very much for the question. We share your concern about that, what I perceive to be a critical vulnerability or reliance on fuel, not only from a cost perspective, but also from a strained lines of logistics as we see in Afghanistan, the criticality of getting fuel to our forces and what that does in terms of putting people in harm's way to deliver that fuel. All of our units that are on the ground right now in Afghanistan have been fielded with renewable energy sources. That started as an experiment, and within about 14 months it has now become every unit that goes over there has renewable energy, and that includes not only solar panels, it includes tent liners, it includes low energy or energy efficient lighting. As we look at our requirements, as we acquire new equipment, fuel efficiency is a critical part of our requirements documents as we seek to have new equipment in the future. And then as a whole, within the Department of the Navy, the Secretary of the Navy has led a very aggressive effort to replace our fossil fuels with some alternative fuel sources and other initiatives in developing technologies that might be available to release us from truly the shackles of fossil fuels, again, not only from a cost perspective, but from a challenge in delivering that to the battlefield.
Well, but I guess I'm hearing from both of y'all that this 25% increase in cost that was not budgeted is something you think you're going to be able to adequately deal with?
Congressman, what we're doing is we're making choices. I mean, there's other ways that we increasingly rely on simulation as an example to develop proficiency for both our pilots and for our ground forces. We'll make trade-offs within our operation and maintenance accounts to ensure that we can maintain a high state of readiness and still pay all of our bills. I'm not going to say it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge. This does exacerbate an already stressed operations and maintenance account. But right now we're trying to work within the resources that we have, again, to ensure that our folks maintain proper training before they deploy. And we have no issue with delivering fuel, obviously, to our forces that are forward deployed as our #1 priority.
Okay. Admiral.
We are also a part of the very aggressive energy efforts led by the Secretary for all our basing. But I think more to your point is the challenge in this fiscal year that we're facing. And should the current prices be sustained, and lately we've seen them start to come down a bit, but if they were sustained for the entire year for the Department of the Navy, the shortfall would be around $1.1 billion that we would face in fuel costs. We would have to offset those by reductions in other areas of the operations and maintenance account to pay for that, or seek a reprogramming or other action from the Congress to address it. And because it is an execution year, the horizon of many of our efficiency initiatives won't generate those savings in order to generate them this year. But what we won't do is reduce the commitment of those operating forces to the combatant commanders and be able to sustain what we need to train and operate forward.
I have little to add except for the fact that the Army is working in 3 specific areas in operational energy for our forces deployed. And again, we'll do whatever we have to do and balance whatever accounts we have to ensure that they have what they need. But we're looking at ways to reduce their reliance. One of them is replacing all our generators with new fuel-efficient generators, and the fuel savings alone downrange is huge. Both the request for proposals for the ground combat vehicle, the infantry fighting vehicle, and the JLTV, the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, include energy savings. And I think that is a big selling point when you look at the total life cycle costs of those vehicles once we bring them on board. And at post camps and stations, we're working with a net zero pilot at least 3 installations. We're using solar at the National Training Center and other locations to help with our energy needs. And also, the Human Resource Command and the new Personnel Command of the Army out of Fort Knox, Kentucky, use geothermal to produce both its heating and cooling in the summertime.
Thank you all.